Hello, my name's Artemis, and some people are fucking stupid, apparently, because if there's one thing that a lot of furries know, it's that you don't trust the goddamn media, because, honestly, look at us. We are the perfect example of just taking the piss out of something. If you want to take the piss out of a subgroup, well, look at the guys dressed up like animals. That's an easy one to fucking target. Well, let's go and talk to them. And surprise, surprise, that's exactly what fucking happened recently with a recent interview, which... oh, I feel like tearing apart and showing exactly all the mistakes that were made and why you shouldn't fucking do this shit in the first place. So that's what we're gonna fucking do. Okay, so first of all, we're going to be using the actual video, quite clearly. And second of all, let's introduce this piece of shit. This was an interview with Fox News. Fox News. Yeah. Instantly, we're off to just the best fucking start possible, aren't we? Instantly, we're talking to what must be the best fucking news agency to talk about weird shit with that totally don't have some sort of political agenda, which every single show they demonstrate. I get it. It's Fox. Furries like foxes. Jokes. Ha 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 ha. Are you dense? Why the fuck anybody would say yes to this in the first place is beyond me. But here we are. Somebody fucking did. So let's fucking see,
We now
shall
turn
we?
it over to a real-life furry, David Kanaska, to respond. All right, David, how old are you?
Okay, now where's the first fucking mistake? The how old are you? It seems like a very obvious kind of question, a very easy question to answer, but that right there is already setting you up down the path that this interviewer wants to take you on. Now, this is going to be going on with the whole war against queer people being involved with young people, because apparently young people have no idea that they're gay. It all comes from books that you need to ban. So... when you have that preconceived direction to the interview, that we are going to be talking about how this influences children and why people dressing up like animals want to be around children, then an easy way to start that off is to highlight how big the age difference is. This is not a question that's being asked in good faith. This right here is the first stone being thrown in a fucking fight.
I'm 32.
And what are you supposed to be dressed up as here?
What are you supposed to be dressed up as here? That is not a simple way of answering that question, is there? Because that's not a simple question. What are you supposed to be dressed up as here? Supposed to be is a very interesting phrase to use because it clearly shows that they want to take the piss out of this because, oh, I don't understand what the fuck I'm looking at, but also, it brings a slight little air of, well, you're not supposed to be dressed up as anything. That might be reaching, but it's Fox News. I don't trust a goddamn word that they say, not even one, so,
Well, currently, I'm a raccoon.
And why are you dressed up as a raccoon?
Tone of voice there. Tone of voice. And why are you dressed up like a raccoon? Do you think that this is going to be someone who understands or even wants to understand? Does this sound like the person who wants to take on board new information and get a clearer understanding of this fandom, of this subset of society, and understand their motivations behind it? No, that doesn't sound like that at all, does it? That sounds like someone who is just deeply fucking concerned that anybody would want to do this.
Well, isn't it fun?
For you? You tell me.
Oh, for me, absolutely. I'm hoping it's fun for everyone around me. The joy of bringing...
Okay, there's a lot to say here. That for you tell me, that's just him trying to be a fucking shitlord. Look at the fucking shit-eating grin on this guy. This guy knows that this interview is going to go exactly how he wants it to. He already knows that he has set and baited the trap, and it has fucking sprung. And the guy, the poor fursuiter, who, by the way, turned out to be a bit of an asshole anyway, isn't aware of how fucked he is right now. Okay, this is not deer in the headlights. This is deer in the headlights who is blind and cannot see the oncoming fucking danger, and the fucking shit-eating interviewer knows it.
Smiles to everyone's face is really the only reason that I like to do this. Getting smiles and bringing people happiness in all sorts of ways. The furries, I know...
What a great phrase. Bringing people smiles and happiness in all sorts of ways. Oh God, okay, great, wonderful. You have now opened the door for what kinds of ways? because that's exactly where they want it to go. This is not a simple back and forth where you ask for information and you get information. This is looking to trip you up with what you say. And quite clearly, this poor guy, this fucking David, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the last name because I'm shit at pronouncing names. This David guy clearly is not prepared for this interview. He does not know what answers he's going to be giving. He has not been prepped for it, and he has not prepped himself. Which is the first fucking mistake. If you don't know what you're doing, and you don't know what you're saying, and you don't know how to handle the fucking media, don't go fucking near them! God.
Specifically, are great at art and dance, and theatrical performance, and it all brings with it.
Well, I mean, you're also great at spankings. Did you see the video we just played?
And that's exactly what happens when you're not fucking prepared, okay? That answer was not an answer. That was a ramble. The fucking interviewer left him there to hang. He let him make enough rope to hang himself and then hang himself. That little bit of silence, that hard stare from the interviewer to camera is genius, really, because it's letting this guy show exactly how fucking unprepared and clueless he really fucking is. He doesn't need to highlight that. He doesn't need to say shit. All he's going to do is just let the fucking fire burn. And then the second that he decides that's enough, he wheels up with, did you see the video of spankings? Excellent, perfect, wonderful. You already have identified yourself as a whole news organization that wants to attack everything under the guise of protecting our children. This is a group which you can argue looks fluffy, cuddly, friendly, and enticing to children. If you can now connect it with an adult thing, then perfect. You have got your angle on how to disconnect furries from children and basically throw the same stones at them that you've been using to throw at drag queens. Fucking classic.
What's going on with the spankings at the furry conventions?
Well, there's a popular restaurant called the Habra House, and this is a restaurant that is pretty close to one of the conventions that we...
Brilliant. Absolutely fucking fantastic. So they mentioned the spankings. He asked for an answer. What's going on with the spankings at furry conventions? For some reason, he decides to talk about this restaurant. No. The answer to that question is, what's going on with the spankings at this? The answer is simple. So, well, adults like to have adult times. Is that really any of your business when it's consenting adults engaging in activities in adult spaces? So I'm just a little perplexed as to why you've decided to look at this massive fandom and all that it brings in charity donations and all that it brings in representation and inclusiveness to LGBT spaces and people who just genuinely feel marginalized in this community, and you want to zero in on something that you just find funny and sort of gross and disturbing. It says to me that you're not looking to get any real information. You just want to poke fun at us. And quite frankly, our fandom has had enough of that. That's how you fucking deal with that sort of question. What you don't do is then talk about German fucking traditions, because what you've done is accepted. You have benignly just accepted that spanking is part of the furry fucking convention experience. That is a thing that is happening. Fantastic. You don't realize this, sir, Mr. David, but you are acting as a fucking voice for the fandom here. According to Fox News now, in their mind, what you say goes. And if that doesn't fucking nail the point home enough, what has just popped up at the bottom of the screen? What have they changed it to? It was furries going after DeSantis. Now, people dressed as animals for sexual fun. How many of us would describe the fandom as just that? That is criminally reductive in the very fucking least. And it is complete bullshit at the most extreme. I mean, honestly, it says everything. The second that pops up on screen, it should have been, I'm done with this interview. I've already done enough damage. But no, we just throw more fucking gasoline on this fire, don't we?
We set up every year. And at the Habra House, it's customary in Germanic tradition to, I guess, slap the asses of all of the patrons.
And that's it. That's just... It's customary to slap the asses. Man, stop talking. Why are you still letting air escape your lungs and form sounds? This is clearly bypassing your brain if you fucking have one. The interviewer can't believe how fucking lucky he is. He can't believe how easy this is going. If he had come up with someone who actually understood the intentions of Fox News, this would be a very difficult interview to swing your way. But he didn't. He came up with a clueless motherfucker who was just giving all the ammunition that Fox News needs to start firing into the faces of the furry fucking fandom.
Don't know why.
I didn't know the Germans were into
thing.
that kind of kink, but there's a lot I don't know. So why do you want kids around people dressed up as squirrels getting spanked?
Do I need to say it? Do I need to say it? Leading question. It's exactly where we were going with this entire fucking interview. It's exactly the fucking point. Why do you want kids around it? Now, I have been in the places where these restaurants happen. I've not been in them because I just haven't. But this shit happens late at night in a restaurant. This does not just happen to adult furries either. This happens to adults. It's a thing that the restaurants offer as a sort of funny thing, basically. We all know what the fucking... I can't remember what it's called, but the restaurants are like. They do this thing. It's for shits and giggles. It is not an exclusive furry thing. More importantly, it's not an exclusive furry thing that we demand to have minors around for. But it doesn't matter. That is a leading question. That is the sort of question that you look at and just say, well, we don't. Nobody does. Nobody's looking to have this around children. These are people out trying to have a good time. You know, the drink's flowing. They're enjoying the company of being with friends. A lot of them have traveled internationally to be around these people. They get this once a year and they just want to have a good time. This is a funny random thing that happens at a restaurant. They think, oh my God, wouldn't it be so funny? And they just give it a go. So children are not a part of that fucking decision-making process. Not only do they, not want your kids around, they're totally fucking indifferent to your kids. They don't really fucking care. It doesn't enter their head. They're just looking to have a good time, and this is a funny thing that they think is a good time. That's how you answer the question. I wonder if that's how David answers it. What does he say?
Me personally, I don't.
Oh, why the fuck would you fucking say that? Me personally, I don't. Right, okay, brilliant. So you identify that you personally don't have a problem with it, but you imply that other people do want kids around it. Brilliant, wonderful, excellent. Just give them more ammunition, David. Just do everything you can to tank the reputation this fandom that is struggling so hard to fucking uphold.
I think that it's definitely an adult-only environment for that. The furry conventions themselves don't have anything to do with that, though. The furry conventions themselves are really about community and bringing people together. You know, a lot of us, we're not so socially, it's a little bit tough.
Okay.
You know, it's easy to make fun of furries.
Okay, he tried to salvage it there. I think he started to see the direction this was going, wanted to bring it back to being about community. Okay, good choice, good decision. That's exactly where you want it to go. I mean, you can again see the shit-eating grin on this interviewer's face where he realizes, okay, you've not taken the bait this time, let's lay out another trap. But this guy can't fucking vocabularize it properly. He cannot put it across properly. He's already fucked. He's already given this interviewer what he wants. Interview guy's just fucking toying with him at this fucking point.
Make fun of furries.
So why are you upset that kids are not allowed to be at the furry convention?
Very good. Very fucking smart. Why are you upset that kids cannot be at the furry convention? Okay, that's very good. That's not what people are upset by. Okay, now sure, there are a level of children that do go to the furry conventions in America, which is strange to the UK because, quite frankly, in the UK, every convention here is 18 and over. All of them. They all are. They are all adult-only events. So that's something that we're just used to. But the difference here is that this is something that has been okay and has not led to any problems with children. It has not been an issue. Conventions do not force the inclusion of children in adult-only spaces, and they do separate it all off with separate parts of the dealer's den, adult-only events are behind closed doors, all of that jazz. And these are not children that are just turning up, these are families, okay? But the really clever part of this is that it's actually not about that to begin with. It's about DeSantis. It's about his war on anything queer, anything drag, anything trans, anything that isn't, straight white hetero Christian values. But that's not how he's phrased it. It's not, well, why do you find it so repulsive that DeSantis is targeting you now? No. It's, well, why would you want kids there in the first place? That's a really clever way to get people on your side, Fox News, you cunts.
Well, me personally, I think...
Me personally, once again, stop with that shit.
That it is a great way to include everyone, no matter, what their age. It's nothing, there's nothing inherently sexual about these conventions. You have panels that teach you how to create costumes or dance or we have variety shows and all kinds of stuff, but it's not sexual. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay, you say it's not.
Brilliant. Okay, you highlight it is not inherently sexual. It is nothing to do with sex. It is just its own thing that people will bring sex into, as they do with absolutely everything else. Excellent. So you must be prepared for exactly what's about to happen. You must be prepared for this interview to suddenly swing with, okay, well, here's something I have that says contrary to that. Are you ready for that? Because it's about to happen, and you need to be prepared to defend the point you've just made. Let's see if that happens.
Not sexual. That's fine. We have video that proves otherwise. But if, like, the governor said you can't have kids at the convention, why wouldn't you just say, okay, it's too bad, move on? Why are you and your crew so insistent on having the kids there?
Okay, so this goes back to the whole, if you've got nothing to hide, why are you so scared kind of argument when it comes to, like global surveillance. Why are you so against the governor? Why does the governor get absolute power over absolutely everything? Why does he get to say what everybody should fucking do? That's the real fucking problem here. And it's also, we have seen time and time again with these people, you give an inch, they take a mile. If we say, okay, well, we should probably go with this and say that it's now 21 and over or 18 and over to come to the convention, it's where does it stop? What does he go for next? Because this guy is going to war with Disney, for fuck's sake. This guy does not stop. He does not give any quarter. This guy is not trustworthy, and that's the main fucking problem here, isn't it? But once again, he's been able to frame this around the whole protecting children. Okay, well, it is inherently sexual because we have evidence that disproves that. No, you don't. There is no evidence that disproves that. There is no evidence that says it's either sexual or non-sexual. It is based on a collective community of people and what collectively they find this fandom to be. And what that is community, creative expression within a place where you are accepted. Quite frankly, creative acceptance in a community where you are accepted for who you are is exactly the sort of thing that children should be allowed access to. Quite frankly, right? I'm fairly certain if we all had that growing up, we'd be a lot less fucked up in the head. Just saying.
So I don't think that there's a huge backlash, but I mean, I could be wrong. There's, from my understanding, it is, from my understanding, the convention just wants to avoid any legal gray areas that might be present in the law. We're misunderstood as a group, and it's very easy to.
So yeah, you're right. We are misunderstood as a group, and he's laughing because he knows he's part of that. He's laughing because he's like, aren't you just? Aren't you just? You want to talk legal grey areas, you're misunderstood. We fought against people for this for ages. You don't understand me, Mum. It's not just a phase, that kind of mindset. But that laugh is a fucking warning shot. That laugh is, I'm about to end this whole man's career. That's the laugh that you don't want to hear on an interview, especially when you're floundering like this guy fucking is.
Vilify us.
Okay. Do you blame yourself at all for being misunderstood? I mean, you're
absolutely zero fucking serious here. Do you blame yourself for being misunderstood? Look at you, you're dressed up as an animal and that therefore has no value in society. Yeah, it's our fault that people are willfully going out of their way to tell us what this fandom is, tell us what this community is, rather than actually learn what we find in it. That's apparently down to us. We have the onus for that, obviously.
You're the one dressed up as a raccoon.
Oh, absolutely. I think that this is absolutely crazy and weird and fun. And that's the point. I think, it's supposed to gain attention. I like being on stage. I like performing.
It's supposed to get attention. That's not something you want to say when they are obviously baiting you with the whole, why do you want kids around? If they have got the whole fucking framing of why do you want kids at this thing, and you back it up with, well, my costume's supposed to get attention, they're about to wheel out the word grooming if you're not fucking careful.
Performing as a character, I like bringing joy to people.
Okay.
That's why I
if I came to one of your conventions, David, or maybe we sent Johnny to the convention, what should we dress up as?
You can dress up however you want. We've had Jack Sparrows show up. We've had all kinds of different animals. What kind of animal do you think you would be?
Probably a dinosaur. David?
A dinosaur. I like that.
I gotta run. Good luck. And don't sweat too much.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so that was obviously a train wreck. That was obviously a fucking problem. A dinosaur is very apt, but I think that's kind of the point, because that's almost a shot of, like, you guys would see me as a dinosaur who was aged back in time, but I see myself as something else and beyond and above this. And hell, even asking the question of if I was to come, what should I dress up as, is just, after everything that's just come across, is a massive wild shut the fuck up and get out. The biggest problem that you find with this is that this was never a good idea going in. Talk about Fox News all you want. I don't honestly believe that anybody, journalism-wise, who wants to talk to the furry fandom and get a view as to what this community is, will do that by wanting the person in a suit first. They will want to talk to the human aspect of it. They will want to show that these are just people that exist in society that, quite frankly, are responsible for the stability of the fucking internet and the tech industry. But these are just people that have found a different way to find happiness in their life. We've seen this in other interviews. They show the human element and then they bring in the costumes and they talk about, well, what does this mean to you? How has this helped you? How did you find this? How does it link to something that our audience can look at as common ground and go, oh, okay, I get it now. But that didn't happen here, did it? Because that was never the fucking goal. There was just never the point of looking at this with a fair eye and giving it a balanced fucking opinion. The whole point of this was, these are the people that are opposing DeSantis. Look how fucking ridiculous they are. This is not about the furries even. This is about the right-wing side of the News Confederation trying to disenfranchise the left, trying to disenfranchise the opposition, and highlight them as being freaks and dangerous people that are coming to groom and attack and harass your children. That's why they want to show that, well, the only people that oppose DeSantis are drag queens and furries, and they're a bunch of pedos. Obviously. This is why they're not giving you a chance. The second you said yes to the interview and you said yes to doing it in fursuit, you'd lost. You'd lost this battle. You would never get... You could have turned up with the most salient point possible and it still wouldn't have sunk in because you turned up on Fox News in a fucking fursuit. That's just it. Game over. And I thought we all had an understanding that we don't speak to the fucking media. Because we are a very out loud and proud group. We are very visible and noticeable. And we are very obviously not conforming to the norms of society. Which means if you want to target a group, this is an easy group to do it with. You know, you watch shows like We're Here and Drag Race and you start to learn about the philosophy of drag. You start to learn what people get out of it and it humanizes it because these are humans. But you look at us and it's much harder. Which means if you want to attack subcultures, this is an easy place to start because just us turning up like this is usually enough to make that decision in people's minds that anything we have to say is invalid, immoral, and wrong. This was not an interview, this was a slaughter. And this guy is paying the price for it now, especially considering he asked whether he should do this. He was told vehemently no, and he did it anyway. Not only did you make your bed, but you shat in it. And now you're upset that you've got to sleep in it. Now, thankfully, so does everybody, because you just went on and represented the fandom just by being there. Oh. Absolute fucking train wreck mess. Jesus Christ. Hopefully it's the last time I ever have to cover something like this and explain it and tear it apart because this should not be happening. Like, I thought we all agreed that we don't speak to the fucking media. So how about let's not? But thank you for watching. I hope this made sense and you explained it away. Let me know what you think of this interview. Did I miss anything? Is there anything you would have said? Any other mistakes that you saw? Is there a better way to do this? I feel like there is. I feel like it's something we can teach each other how to do, media strategy, but Christ, it's not going to be easy. thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, maybe you would look at subscribing or getting some merch or some form of support for this channel. You never know. And also, I'm on TikTok now, so maybe you can check that out. I wonder if I might have made a graphic for that. Who knows? Let's find out. It will probably say something there if I did. So maybe check that out as well. But thank you for watching, and I guess I'll speak to you next week. Bye!